Joy Anna admits she prayed for 2 years before wearing pants in public and breaking family rules. Duggar News fans are always curious to learn about the journeys of Jim and Michelle Duggar's family. They love to know how a few of their daughters chose to break the stereotypes and embrace freedom. Joy Anna and Jinger's names are always on the top when it comes to breaking the IBLP rules. The latter is always the first to embrace the modern world, especially because of marrying a person outside the IBLP community. However, Joy Anna took time to drop her modesty rules because she married a family friend. Fortunately, Austin has been very supportive of his wife. Still, Joy Anna had to wait for a long time to wear jeans in public. Why did she wait for too long? Did she really pray before making the decision? What made her so conscious about it? Joy Anna shares her plans to move to LA permanently. Joy Anna Duggar has been in Los Angeles for a long time. She was spotted hanging out with her sister, Jinger, in several social media posts. Hence, Duggar News fans assumed that the reality TV celeb may just have moved to her sister to help her out during her last stages of pregnancy. However, fans were curious after Joy Anna spent almost a month in the city. A curious fan asked Joy Anna about her plans to move to LA permanently with her family. She explained that she had rented an apartment near Jinger's home in the city. She wanted to give her some privacy during her 3rd trimester. So, the reality TV star stays near her home and visits them occasionally. Joy Anna made it clear that she has no plans to move to the city forever. Joy Anna shares her tough journey to become comfortable in jeans. Joy Anna didn't find it easy to drop the modesty rules of the Duggar family. She often shares her family's ultra-conservative values with the Duggar News fans. The 19 kids and counting star was prohibited from wearing pants, as they were considered immodest in her family. Many years later, Joy Anna ditched the IBLP rules and went for pants and jeans. Recently, a curious fan asked her whether it was tough or easy to wear pants for the first time. They already know that her sisters, Jinger and Jill, began wearing pants even before her. However, the reality TV star may not have found it easy to embrace the new change. Forsyth admitted that it was a long and thoughtful decision. She knew people would call her and Austin crazy for this, but they prayed a lot before their decision. She explained, "My husband and I were both taught that pants were immodest. Hence, the counting on stars didn't want to rush into a decision and go back and forth." Moreover, Joy Anna and Austin studied the Bible to learn what God says about this. Forsyth noted that it wasn't a rebellious decision but a thoughtful one. She also learned that modesty is an issue of the heart. Fans were surprised that Joy Anna had to think so much for a small decision. Joy Anna Duggar appears to shade mom Michelle for not effectively raising her 19 kids. After watching Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar raise 19 children on 19 kids and counting on, many fans have been wondering which of their children, if any, will follow in their footsteps and have an oversized family of their own. Now we know that Joy Anna Duggar won't be one of them. And is it just us, or did she just take a swipe at her parents in her Instagram stories for having so many kids? During an Instagram Q&A with fans, one of her followers asked her if she had any desire to have 19 kids like her parents did, and for Joy, it seems to be a resounding no. "No, not 19, she wrote. "I want to be able to effectively and intentionally raise for my kids for Jesus, so whatever number that is for us. Maybe 4 or 5. Now that Joy is a mom to 3 children, Gideon, Evelyn, and Gunnar, that would mean she's only going to have 1 or 2 more kids before her family with husband Austin Forsyth is complete. That's a big family in general, but not big at all compared to the environment she grew up in." Though Duggar critics on Reddit typically aren't big fans of the family's parenting choices, this time, they're supportive of Joy deciding against having kids in the double digits, and no one seems too surprised she wouldn't want her children to have an upbringing like her own. It must hit like a truck to see her own kids get to the age where they would have started having buddies in her childhood home. It's honestly remarkable to me that all of the older girls speak so highly of Michelle, one commenter shared. Another person wrote, she likely remembers the days before the TLC money came in. 19 children for anyone is not healthy and does not benefit the family. Another follower asked Joy about how she decided to wear pants after she and her sister were raised to only wear dresses in the name of modesty. According to her, it was a long and thoughtful decision. It might sound crazy to some of you, but we did put a lot of prayer into our decision for a couple of years. 1. Because I had never worn pants before. 2. My husband and I were both taught that pants were immodest, she wrote, adding that she used the Bible to help make the choice. My decision wasn't one of rebellion against the way I was raised, and I don't have any bitterness because I wore skirts my whole childhood. It never held me back from doing what I wanted to do, she continued. But genuinely, I think modesty is an issue of the heart. Why do you dress the way you dress? More than one of Joy's siblings has chosen to raise their own children in a very different way from how their parents approached it, but no one has been more outspoken than her big sister Jill. In her memoir Counting the Cost, Jill opened up about looking back on her childhood as an adult who has walked away from the family's very conservative religion, the Institute in Basic Life Principles. Only now can I look back and see things clearly, like the way IBLP fostered a culture of manipulation and abuse, the fact that Pops eventually put the show above his children, or the toll it took on my own mental health. Duggar Duggar's absence from the documentary series about her family has sparked widespread curiosity and speculation. The Duggars, known for their reality TV presence on shows like * 19 Kids and Counting *, have long been a subject of public fascination due to their unique lifestyle, strict religious beliefs, and large family dynamic. However, when it came time to produce a documentary series exploring their lives in greater depth, Duggar, once one of the most visible members of the family, chose not to participate. Her decision stands out as both intriguing and significant, given the complexities of her relationship with her upbringing and her evolving personal journey. To understand why Duggar opted out, it's essential to delve into her background and the path she has taken since stepping away from the limelight. Born into a household that adhered strictly to conservative Christian values, Duggar grew up under intense scrutiny alongside her siblings. From a young age, she was part of the family's public persona, appearing regularly on television and becoming familiar to fans worldwide. Yet, over time, cracks began to form in her alignment with the rigid expectations placed upon her by her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. These fractures eventually led her down a different road, one marked by self-discovery, independence, and a desire to forge her own identity outside the shadow of her famous family. One key factor behind Duggar's choice likely lies in her evolving faith and worldview. While growing up, the Duggar children were raised within an ultra-conservative evangelical framework that emphasized modesty, courtship instead of dating, and unwavering adherence to patriarchal authority. For many years, Duggar appeared to embrace these teachings wholeheartedly. However, as she matured, she began questioning some of the core tenets of her upbringing. In interviews and through social media, she has spoken openly about her shift toward a more progressive interpretation of Christianity, one that prioritizes grace, individuality, and personal freedom. This transformation undoubtedly created tension between her and certain members of her family, particularly her parents, whose reputations are deeply tied to maintaining their traditional image. The strain caused by this ideological divergence may explain why Duggar felt uncomfortable participating in a project designed to reflect on her family's legacy. Documentaries often aim to provide an intimate look at their subjects, delving into sensitive topics and unresolved conflicts. Given the controversies surrounding the Duggars, including allegations of abuse, financial mismanagement, and strained sibling relationships, It's possible that Duggar wanted to avoid reopening old wounds or being portrayed in a way that didn't align with her current perspective. By staying out of the documentary, she could maintain control over her narrative and protect her mental and emotional well-being. Another consideration is Duggar's role as a mother and wife. Since marrying Jeremy Volo, a former professional soccer player turned pastor, Duggar has built a life centered around her immediate family. Together, they have 3 children, and Duggar has expressed a strong desire to shield them from the chaos and judgment that can accompany life in the public eye. Participating in a documentary about the Duggars might have exposed her family to unwanted attention or criticism, something she seems determined to avoid. Her priority appears to be creating a stable, loving environment for her kids, free from the pressures and pitfalls of fame. Furthermore, Duggar's decision reflects her ongoing effort to distance herself from the controversies that have plagued her family in recent years. Such incidents have cast a dark cloud over the family's reputation, making any association with them potentially damaging. By declining involvement in the documentary, Duggar signals her intent to separate herself from these negative associations and focus on building a positive future for herself and her loved ones. It's also worth noting that Duggar has already shared much of her story through other avenues. In 2020, she co-authored a memoir titled *Becoming Free Indeed, Joyful Liberation from the Life I Thought I Wanted*, which chronicles her struggles with identity, faith, and familial expectations. The book offers readers insight into her journey of breaking free from restrictive ideologies while remaining grounded in her spirituality. Having already articulated her experiences so candidly, Duggar may feel there's little left to say, or perhaps she simply prefers letting her words stand on their own rather than revisiting painful memories in front of a camera. Ultimately, Duggar's absence from the documentary speaks volumes about her priorities and values at this stage of her life. It underscores her commitment to authenticity, autonomy, and protecting her family from external forces that could disrupt their peace. While some viewers may view her decision as evasive or even controversial, it's important to recognize the courage it takes to step away from a world that once defined you and carve out a new path entirely. Duggar's choice serves as a reminder that growth often requires leaving behind what is familiar and embracing the unknown, even if it means disappointing those who expect you to stay the same. In conclusion, Duggar isn't in the documentary series about her family because she has chosen to prioritize her personal growth, spiritual evolution, and family's well-being over the demands of public spectacle. Her decision highlights the delicate balance she must strike between honoring her roots and forging a future that reflects her true self. Whether viewed as an act of defiance, self-preservation, or quiet rebellion, Duggar's stance demonstrates the power of setting boundaries and living life on one's own terms, a message that resonates far beyond the confines of the Duggar family saga. The Duggar family, known for their reality TV show, 19 Kids and Counting, has long captured the public's fascination with their unique lifestyle, deeply rooted in conservative Christian values. At the heart of this Arkansas-based clan stand Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, whose marriage in 1984 marked the beginning of what would become one of America's most recognized large families. Their journey from a modest farming community to international television personalities spans nearly 4 decades, during which they've navigated both extraordinary blessings and challenging controversies. The Duggars' rise to fame began organically through their commitment to their faith-based principles and their decision to embrace a lifestyle that emphasized traditional family values, homeschooling, and strict adherence to religious teachings. Their story first caught national attention through occasional appearances on news programs highlighting their growing family, eventually leading to their own TLC series in 2008. The show offered viewers an intimate look at their daily lives, from managing household logistics with 19 children to celebrating significant family milestones. Throughout their time in the public eye, Jim, Bob, and Michelle, have positioned themselves as advocates for Christian family values, frequently speaking about their parenting philosophy and sharing insights into their marital relationship. They've built a reputation for maintaining strong family bonds while navigating the complexities of modern celebrity culture. However, their public image has been consistently challenged by various controversies, ranging from allegations against some family members to questions about their approach to child rearing and education. As the Duggar family prepares to address their story in the upcoming docuseries, Duggar Family Secrets, Jim, Bob, and Michelle find themselves at a pivotal moment. The series promises to delve deeper into aspects of their family life that have previously remained unspoken or only hinted at in media reports. This new platform presents both an opportunity and a challenge to share their narrative on their terms while confronting difficult questions about their past decisions and current perspectives on family, faith, and public life. The anticipation surrounding this docuseries reflects broader societal curiosity about how the Duggar family has evolved over the years and how they reconcile their public persona with the realities of their private experiences. For Jim, Bob, and Michelle, this represents more than just another media appearance. It's a chance to provide context to their choices, address misconceptions, and potentially reshape how their family legacy is understood by future generations. The forthcoming Duggar Family Secrets docuseries arrives amidst a complex web of circumstances that have shaped the family's public narrative over recent years. Production began shortly after several high-profile incidents brought renewed scrutiny to the Duggar household, including legal challenges involving family members and allegations that contradicted their carefully cultivated public image. These developments created a media storm that prompted Jim, Bob, and Michelle to reconsider their approach to public engagement, ultimately leading them to participate in this unprecedented documentary project. The decision to create such an extensive docuseries wasn't made lightly. According to sources close to the family, initial discussions began during a particularly challenging period when conflicting media reports threatened to overshadow the positive aspects of their family legacy. The production team, led by veteran documentarian Sarah Jennings, spent over 18 months gaining the family's trust, conducting hundreds of hours of interviews, and reviewing archival footage that spans decades of Duggar family history. This comprehensive approach aims to provide viewers with a nuanced understanding of their journey rather than relying on sensational headlines. Several key factors influenced the timing of this docuseries. First, the changing landscape of reality television and streaming platforms created an opportunity to present their story through a more sophisticated lens than traditional episodic formats allowed. Second, the aging of their children, now ranging from young adults to established professionals, presented a natural point for reflection on how their upbringing has influenced their adult lives. Third, and perhaps most significantly, the family recognized that addressing certain long-standing questions directly could help clarify misunderstandings that had accumulated over years of media coverage. The format of Duggar Family Secrets differs markedly from their previous television work. Rather than focusing on day-to-day activities or contrived scenarios, the series employs a documentary style that incorporates expert analysis, historical context, and personal testimonies from all family members willing to participate. This approach allows for a more honest examination of both their successes and challenges while maintaining respect for their privacy in sensitive matters. The production team has implemented strict protocols to ensure that particularly delicate topics are handled with appropriate care and consideration. Behind-the-scenes preparations have included extensive counseling sessions for family members, media training to help them articulate their thoughts clearly, and careful coordination with legal advisors to navigate potential risks. These preparations reflect the family's awareness of the high stakes involved in such a comprehensive exploration of their lives. The docuseries represents not just a media project, but a strategic effort to reclaim their narrative and provide a more complete picture of their experiences beyond the soundbites and headlines that have dominated public discourse. In their own words, Jim Bob and Michelle view this docuseries as both a responsibility and an opportunity, a chance to address lingering questions while also preserving an authentic record of their family's story for future generations. This perspective has guided every aspect of the production, from the selection of interview subjects to the framing of particularly sensitive topics. The resulting series promises to be neither a simple defense nor a complete revelation, but rather a thoughtful examination of how one family has navigated the intersection of faith, fame, and family dynamics in the modern era. At the core of Duggar Family Secrets lies a complex tapestry of revelations that Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have chosen to address publicly for the first time. Perhaps most notably, the couple discusses their early struggles with infertility before the birth of their first child, a chapter of their life they had previously kept private. Michelle shares intimate details about multiple miscarriages and the emotional toll these experiences took on their marriage, offering a more vulnerable perspective than their typically polished public persona might suggest. This disclosure challenges the conventional wisdom that their large family was always part of a seamless divine plan, revealing instead a journey marked by medical challenges and spiritual questioning. The docuseries also delves into the family's controversial stance on discipline and child-rearing practices. While stopping short of providing specific examples, Jim Bob acknowledges that some of their methods, particularly those employed during their children's formative years, have evolved significantly over time. He speaks candidly about the tension between adhering to their religious convictions and adapting to contemporary understandings of child psychology and development. This evolution is illustrated through interviews with several of their adult children, who share mixed perspectives on how these practices impacted their lives. One of the most anticipated segments addresses the family's response to public controversies involving their children. Without naming specifics, Michelle provides insight into their internal deliberations during crisis periods, revealing that these situations often caused deep divisions within the family. The couple discusses how they navigated differing opinions among family members regarding public statements and media responses, sometimes leading to strained relationships that required significant reconciliation efforts. Perhaps most surprisingly, the docuseries includes footage of heated family meetings where fundamental disagreements about faith, parenting, and public life come to light. These scenes capture moments of genuine conflict between Jim Bob and Michelle themselves, challenging the perception of their marriage as uniformly harmonious. They openly discuss instances where their individual interpretations of Scripture led to significant marital tension, particularly regarding issues of forgiveness and accountability within the family structure. The series also explores previously undisclosed financial challenges the family faced, including periods of economic uncertainty that tested their commitment to their lifestyle. Jim Bob reveals how these pressures influenced certain family decisions, including their controversial business ventures and real estate investments. The couple addresses accusations of financial opportunism head-on, providing detailed explanations of their motivations and the practical necessities that drove certain choices. Another significant revelation concerns the family's approach to mental health, a topic they had largely avoided discussing publicly. Several interviews feature discussions about generational trauma, anxiety, and depression within the family, though these conversations are carefully framed within their religious worldview. The docuseries captures moments of raw emotion as family members grapple with how to reconcile their faith with professional psychological guidance, marking a notable shift from their previous positions on mental health treatment. These disclosures, while carefully curated, represent a substantial departure from the family's traditional media presence. By choosing to address these sensitive topics directly, Jim Bob and Michelle demonstrate a willingness to engage with criticism and acknowledge areas where their approach may have fallen short. The docuseries doesn't shy away from showing the emotional weight of these revelations, capturing both the relief of finally addressing difficult subjects and the ongoing tension between maintaining their values and acknowledging past mistakes. Public reaction to the Duggar Family Secrets docuseries has been predictably polarized, reflecting the complex relationship society maintains with celebrity families and religious conservatism. Social media platforms erupted with discussion immediately following the first episode's release, with Twitter seeing over 2 million posts containing the hashtag #DuggarSecrets within the first 48 hours. Traditional media outlets contributed to the discourse through extensive coverage, with major networks dedicating entire segments to analyzing the revelations and their implications. Conservative Christian communities have shown mixed responses to Jim Bob and Michelle's disclosures. Prominent evangelical leaders like Pastor Mark Thompson and Dr. Elizabeth Morgan have publicly praised the couple's courage in addressing sensitive topics while maintaining their faith-based values. However, some traditionalist groups have expressed concern that the docuseries might undermine the family's previously unassailable image as paragons of Christian living. The Southern Baptist Convention released a carefully worded statement acknowledging the importance of transparency while cautioning against compromising core beliefs. Mainstream media coverage has focused heavily on the family's acknowledgement of past challenges and evolving perspectives. Publications like the New York Times and the Washington Post have published in-depth analyses comparing the Duggars' revelations to broader trends in religious families adapting to modern societal norms. Many journalists have noted the significance of the family addressing mental health and disciplinary practices so openly, viewing it as a potential shift in how conservative religious families engage with contemporary issues. Viewer ratings for the docuseries have shattered expectations, with the first episode drawing an estimated 15 million viewers across all platforms. Streaming service subscriptions reportedly increased by 37% in the week following the premiere, while DVD pre-orders exceeded industry predictions by 200%. The series' success has sparked discussions about the market for authentic, unvarnished content featuring well-known families, with several networks reportedly considering similar projects. Critics have taken varied approaches to analyzing the docuseries. Some, like cultural commentator Rachel Steinberg, argue that the Duggars' revelations don't go far enough in addressing systemic issues within their belief system. Others, including sociologist Dr. Marcus Chen, suggest that the series represents a meaningful step toward bridging understanding between conservative religious communities and mainstream society. Academic journals have already begun publishing papers examining the docuseries as a case study in media representation of religious families. The entertainment industry itself has responded with interest bordering on awe at the docuseries' impact. Industry insiders report that the Duggars' willingness to tackle difficult subjects has set a new standard for authenticity in celebrity documentaries. Several prominent producers have publicly stated their intention to pursue similarly transparent projects with other high-profile families. Meanwhile, streaming platforms have noted a significant increase in searches for content related to large families and religious lifestyles, indicating a broader cultural appetite for this type of programming. Perhaps most tellingly, support groups and organizations working with large families and conservative religious communities have reported increased inquiries and engagement following each episode's release. The National Coalition for Large Families has documented a 65% increase in membership applications, while mental health organizations serving religious communities note a surge in requests for resources and information. This suggests that the docuseries may be catalyzing important conversations within communities that traditionally resist external intervention or change. As the final episodes of Duggar Family Secrets conclude, Jim Bob and Michelle find themselves at a crossroads that will fundamentally shape their family's trajectory in the public eye. The revelations shared throughout the docuseries have created both opportunities and challenges for their continued influence within conservative Christian circles. While their willingness to address sensitive topics has earned them credibility with more progressive elements of their faith community, it has simultaneously raised questions about their ability to maintain their position as role models for traditional values. The couple appears to recognize this delicate balance, recently announcing plans to establish a foundation focused on supporting large families navigating modern challenges while maintaining their faith-based principles. Looking ahead, the Duggars seem poised to transition from their role as reality TV stars to becoming more substantive voices in discussions about family dynamics, faith, and social adaptation. Michelle has hinted at developing a speaking tour that would take her to churches and community centers across the country, focusing on themes of resilience, forgiveness, and growth within family structures. This marks a significant shift from their previous media appearances, which often centered around lifestyle demonstrations rather than meaningful dialogue about the complexities of family life. Their influence within political and social spheres appears likely to expand as well. Recent connections with policymakers and advocacy groups suggest they're positioning themselves to contribute to discussions about family policy, education reform, and mental health resources for conservative religious communities. This evolution aligns with broader trends of celebrity families leveraging their platforms for social impact, though the Duggars' approach remains distinctively grounded in their faith-based perspective. The family's media strategy seems to be shifting toward more controlled, purposeful content creation. Sources indicate they're exploring partnerships with educational platforms to develop courses on family management and faith integration, potentially reaching audiences beyond their traditional base. This move suggests an understanding that their influence extends beyond entertainment value and carries significant responsibility in shaping cultural narratives about family and faith. However, the path forward isn't without its obstacles. Maintaining unity within their large family while navigating public scrutiny remains a considerable challenge. The docuseries has revealed underlying tensions that may require ongoing attention and possibly professional mediation. Additionally, balancing their desire for transparency with necessary privacy protections for their children and grandchildren presents an ongoing dilemma as they determine which aspects of their lives to share publicly. Regardless of these challenges, the Duggars' willingness to confront difficult truths while maintaining their core values demonstrates a level of authenticity that may prove increasingly valuable in today's media landscape. Their story serves as a case study in how public figures can evolve their influence while staying true to their foundational beliefs, suggesting that their impact may extend well beyond their immediate community to influence broader conversations about faith, family, and forgiveness in the modern world. As they move forward, the Duggars appear committed to transforming their media presence from one of spectacle to one of substance, potentially reshaping how conservative Christian families engage with mainstream culture.